What's going on, guys? This is Miasin. You already know it. Eldlich deck profile testing video tomorrow, and no combo videos because, I mean, it's freaking Eldlich. What combo is there to show? Anyways, before we get into this deck profile, make sure you like and subscribe, my man. And now let's jump right into it. So, 2 Golden Lord. I don't want to play 3. It's just super bricky. 2 is way more than enough. 3 Extravagance and 2 Prosperity. Now, this is actually logical because if you get ashed on the Extravagance and you draw Prosperity, you can actually use the Prosperity right away. Whereas if you drew like 2 Prosperities, if the first one gets ashed, you can't use the second one. So yeah, 3 and 2 is probably correct. Some people in the OCG are playing 3-3, which I think is way too much. But only playing 3 Extravagance and 0 Prosperity might be not enough. So I think this is like as good as it gets. Anyways, 1 Black Awakening. Any more than that and you're just gonna start bricking. But it's like an extra card to have to set with your Conquistador and Haquero. So you can actually set, send it to the graveyard with like the graveyard effect of Eldlich, the Golden Lord. And then set like I don't know, either Haquero, Conquistador, or the Golden Land Forever. And yeah, 3 Cursed Eldland. One of the best cards in the entire deck. It's so insane. 3 Scarlet, 2 Ice Dragon's Prison because it actually does nothing against Drytron, and it doesn't affect every single deck out there, and it's once per turn. But as long as people are playing like Dragoon and stuff like that, I think this card will be necessary. Sorry. 3 Torrential Tribute. This might sound crazy, and a lot of people might be like, "No, you're trolling, man. You can't be serious." But I personally don't even like Torrential Tribute that much. I don't know if it's just me, but every deck I play against just conveniently never loses to Torrential. So this card always just sits there doing nothing, and it's also kind of reactive in a way, whereas Neo Sealing is more proactive, but there has to be like 4 or more monsters on the field, which is actually quite a lot, unless you're playing going second against, I don't know, a deck like that summons like freaking 10 billion times in one turn, but even Sword Soul doesn't really do that. Well, I mean, it summons a lot, but it doesn't have, like, that many monsters at the end of the turn 1. So that's why, yeah, Needle Sealing Torrential, I don't know. Maybe considering, like, cutting this card overall. Because Punishment, I want to say, is a little better. It's proactive, so you can use it at any time, even if Europe only has, like, 1 problematic monster. It's also relatively good against the control decks. It can also go after back row if you send Elder Entity Entis. In theory, if you're playing Paleozoic Cambro Raster, if you can destroy a low attack monster, you can protect yourself from Harpy's Feather Duster, Lightning Storm, etc. But that's especially good in the grind game. But yeah, I think Punishment is a little better than Torrential because the extra deck lock really doesn't matter at all. It really doesn't matter. Anyways, 3 Conquistador and 3 Haquero. Now for the Floodgates, I'm playing 2 Tikaboo, 2 Goes in Match, and 2 Rivalry. I don't believe that playing 3-3-3 is logical because if you draw like multiples of the same Floodgate, maybe, what a coincidence, you play it against that one deck that didn't lose to that specific Floodgate. So having a bit more variety in the different Floodgates that you're playing is a little better. And then 1 Imperial Order, 1 Skill Drain. Of course, in the OCG, you could play 3 Skill Drain, which is Insanity, and 3 Solemn Strike. In the side deck, you would have 3 Solemn Judgment when you know for a fact that you're going first. But since Strike is the best one going first and second overall, because it actually breaks boards going second, main decking 3 Strike over 3 Judgment is a little bit more logical. And then, like I said, the Golden Land Forever. So that's it for the main deck. Now for the extra deck, 3 Elder Entity Entis, just because you can actually banish cards that you didn't really want to banish. You really wanted like to have at least 1 copy of Elder Entity Entis, because the Extravagance is RNG, but the Prosperity, you choose what you banish. So that's the reason why I'm playing multiples. And when Pegasus at Ignister, at this point it's almost like a backup Entis. 1 Zeus that you actually can summon with Juggernaut Liebe, or, well, I mean, obviously this is like kind of an infinity. You slap it on top of the rank 10 monsters. So Gengaridai, Gustav Max, there is also Super Dora the Explorer, but I wouldn't really play that one, it's not too great. And Pleiades into Ptolemy M7 for a 4 material Zeus. That is also a possibility with the 2 level 5 monsters that you have there. But Pleiades actually has such a good effect on its own that you might as well just sit on the Pleiades. But I mean, 4 material Zeus is actually much better than a Pleiades that can only use its effect once per turn. And BLS Link, very good card. This card can banish without targeting. So eventually, depending on where you are at in the game state, you can have a really disgusting BLS that can be targeted or destroyed by card effects with like 4,500 attack. They can attack multiple times and banish a card on the field every time it battles. So I'm actually a big fan of the BLS Soldier of Chaos. And this is kind of interchangeable. You can play 1 or 2 or 3 Link Spider with 0, 1, 2, 3 Imdux. it literally changes nothing, but I guess this doesn't really have an effect, but it points to yourself, whereas the Imdok points to your opponent, but it's almost like a relinquished anima where you can destroy monsters when it battles in like a monster like that it points to. So I guess there's that. And now for the idea section, and Nibiru is a good card. There is kind of a cute combo that you can do, not really a combo, but an interaction, very similar to Orchist, where you can go Nibiru and then chain like Scarlet, and basically what's gonna happen is that your Nibiru is going to resolve as much as possible, but since you're locked under zombie only because of Scarlet, you're going to tribute the entire field and not summon the Nibiru, so Nibiru stays in your hand, and you're also not going to be summoning a token if I recall correctly, so your opponent just loses everything and you still keep the Nibiru. So if you're playing against a deck that constantly needs to summon 5 monsters every turn, Sphere Mode, Lava Golem, Kaiju, if you are playing a Kaiju it has to be Gadarla, because you can use it on top of the Windberry statue, or just any monster if you're playing against Lairless Tri Brigade. And then Pankratops, Inspector Border, Banshee, really nice with Zombie World. You can summon the Banshee with Scarlet if you already have Eldlich the Golden Lord on the field, and that's the reason why Black Awakening is pretty good, because if you draw Black Awakening and Scarlet, you can summon Banshee on game 2 and game 3, and I guess Ash, but that's, I really wouldn't play that unless I really had like a needle fiber oriented extra deck, but it doesn't really, it's not really worth it. Anyways, White Destiny, also not too great because people are no longer playing like 3 Called by the Grave since it's limited, so you don't really have to like protect your Eldlich the Golden Lord at all cost around Called by the Grave. And yeah, Needle Sealing, Dynamiscus, Anti-Spell, Unending, Judgment. There are so many other cards that are good for Eldlich, but yeah, the list goes on. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Let me know what you guys actually think of this deck in the comment section below. Personally, I think it's the best trap deck in the entire game right now. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.